A match cut, also called a graphic match, is a cut in film editing between either two different objects, two different spaces, or two different compositions in which objects in the two shots graphically match, often helping to establish a strong continuity of action and linking the two shots metaphorically. Wider context, match cuts form the basis for continuity editing, such as the ubiquitous use of match-on action. Continuity editing smooths over the inherent discontinuity of shot changes to establish a logical coherence between shots. Even within continuity editing, though, the match cut is a contrast both with cross-cutting between actions in two different locations that are occurring simultaneously, and with parallel editing, which draws parallels or contrasts between two different time-space locations. A graphic match occurs when the shapes, colors and/or overall movement of two shots match in composition either within a scene or, especially, across a transition between two scenes. Indeed, rather than the seamless cuts of continuity editing within a scene, the term graphic match usually denotes a more conspicuous transition between two shots via pictorial elements. A match cut often involves a graphic match, a smooth transition between scenes and an element of metaphorical comparison between elements in both shots. A match cut contrasts with the conspicuous and abrupt discontinuity of a jump cut. Notable examples: Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey contains a famous example of a match cut. After an ape discovers the use of bones as a tool and a weapon, he throws one triumphantly into the air. As the bone spins in the air, there is a match cut to a much more advanced tool, an orbiting satellite. The match cut helps draw a connection between the two objects as exemplars of primitive and advanced tools respectively, and serves as a neat summary of humanity's technological advancement up to that point. The satellite is unidentified in the film, but the novel makes it clear that it is an orbital weapon platform, thus linking with the use of the bone as a weapon. Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger's A Canterbury Tale is a predecessor for the 2001, A Space Odyssey match cut in which a 14th-century falcon cuts to a World War II aeroplane. The sense of time passing but nothing changing is emphasized by having the same actor, in different costumes, looking at both the falcon and the aeroplane. An early example comes from Orson Welles' Citizen Kane, which opens with a series of match dissolves that keeps the lit window of C.F. Kane's in the same part of the frame while the cuts take us around his dilapidated Xonad estate, before a final match dissolve takes us from the outside to the inside where Kane is about to die. Another match cut comes from Lawrence of Arabia, where an edit cuts together Lawrence blowing out a liter match with the desert sun rising from the horizon. Director David Lean credits inspiration for the edit to the experimental French New Wave. The edit was later praised by Steven Spielberg as inspiration for his own work. A match cut occurs at the end of Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest. As Cary Grant pulls Eva Marie Saint up from Mount Rushmore, the cut then goes to him pulling her up to his bunk on the train. The match cut here skips over the courting, the marriage proposal, and the actual marriage of the two characters who had for much of the film been adversaries. Another Hitchcock film to employ the use of a match cut is Psycho. Right after Marion Crane is murdered in the famous shower scene, the camera shows blood flowing down the drain of the tub, then cuts to a shot of Marion's eye. German director Fritz Lang provided early uses of match cuts in his silent and first sound films. In Dr. Mabuse the Gambler, he shows a circular casino from above and cuts to a circle of hands at a séance happening the same night involving Mabuse and others. This smoothly changes into the simultaneous scene and links the two activities as decadent pastimes of the rich in pursuit of excitement and celebrity. Lang reused the technique in M while cross-cutting between the meetings of Schrecurrency NKER's Criminal Union and Inspector Karl Lochmann's Homicide Investigation Squad. Schrecurrency NKER and Lochmann are matched in movement and in dialogue to illustrate their unlikely connection in a shared goal, to capture a serial child killer. The Morning in America campaign commercial for U.S. President Ronald Reagan's successful 1984 re-election bid also uses this technique. Early in the ad there are match cuts between a taxi cab, a tractor, and a bike, all facing the camera with the headlights on. Later there is a match cut between two men, both hoisting the American flag. For his 1986 fantasy film Highlander, Director Russell Mulcahy employs multiple match cuts to indicate movements backwards in time and forwards again to the present day, telling the story of an immortal who relives episodes from his past in the ancient Highlands of Scotland, as he faces his final challenge in modern New York City. Examples include a World Wrestling Federation match cutting back to the bloody clan battles of his youth, a fish tank cutting back to an experience in a boat on a loch, and an emotional face in the past dissolving into a giant NYC advertising hoarding showing the impassive Mona Lisa. In the case of this film, the match cut is integral to the storytelling, as a potentially confusing back-and-forth narrative is thus held together. With the denouement's final cut to Scotland cleverly revealed to be not a jump in time, as previously, through the inclusion of a modern fighter jet in flight over the Highlands. In the 1986 film Aliens there is a match cut between a close-up of Ripley's sleeping face and a distant shot of planet Earth. Yet another example of a match cut can be found in the final episode of the first season of David Lynch and Mark Frost's television show Twin Peaks. In the opening moments as Dr. Jacobi is struck down by a masked assailant and rolls over onto his back, the camera zooms in onto his eye which slowly fades away to a roulette wheel in One-Eyed Jack's casino. This transition is a key moment in the episode as it connects two very different storylines together through a strategic cut. The Simpsons make major usage of the match cut, providing seamless transitions between scenes. Notable examples include the cut from young Homer to current-day Homer and Bart Starr, the transition from Marge to the character in her novel, In Diatribe of a Mad Housewife, and hundreds more. The usage of the match cut has ultimately become a major recurring trait of the series. Tarsem Sings the Fall features a match cut where the costume, hairstyle, and facial expression of a character was matched nearly perfectly to the background of the next scene, without the use of digital enhancement, as well as other examples. See also, jump cut, split edit, cutting on action. References: A.B. Duckworth, A Basic Film Techniques, Match Cut. The Journal of Film, Art and Aesthetics. The Motley View. ISSN 2049-4254. Retrieved July 28, 2014. A.B. Felluger, Dino. Terms used by Narratology and Film Theory. Introductory Guide to Critical Theory. Purdue University. Retrieved July 28, 2014. A.B. The Film Buff Unregistered Trademark S Dictionary. All Movie Talk. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Prunes, Mariano. Michael Rain. Mary Litch. Part 4, Editing. Film Analysis Guide. New Haven, Connecticut, Film Studies Program, Yale University. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Robert, Darius. 2001, A Space Odyssey, A Critical Analysis of the Film Score. The Kubrick Site. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Agel, Jar Copyright Rami, ed. The Making of Kubrick's 2001. Signet Film Series Volume 4205. New York, Signet. Pages 196 and caption in Photographs section. ISBN 9780451071392. OCLC 109475. A Canterbury Tale. Irish Film Institute. Archived from the original on September 29, 2010. Emerson, Jim. Citizen Kane. Scene Pad. Archived from the original on May 10, 2013. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Lane, Anthony. Master and Commander, Remembering David Lean. The New Yorker. A Critic at Large. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Dirks, Tim. Match Cut. Film Terms Glossary Illustrated. AMC Film Site. p. L2M1. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Tolles, George. Chapter 7, Psycho and the Gaze. In Coker, Robert. Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, A Casebook. Casebooks in Criticism. New York, Oxford University Press. pages 127. ISBN 9780195169195. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Further reading, Bordwell, David. Kristin Thompson. Chapter 6, Editing. Film Art, An Introduction. New York, McGraw-Hill. ISBN 97807355104. OCLC 793213236. Hayward, Susan. Cinema Studies, The Key Concepts. Routledge Key Guides. Abington, UK, Routledge. ISBN 9780415538138. OCLC 828473026. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Cut. Cinema Studies, The Key Concepts pages 96–98. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Editing Soviet Montage. Cinema Studies, The Key Concepts pages 119–123. Retrieved July 28, 2014. Jump cut. Cinema Studies, The Key Concepts. Pages 222. Retrieved July 28, 2014.